Mealtimes with young kids. I used to hate mealtimes like most parents, I guess. Leo is 3, turning 4 soon, and getting him to eat anything other than dinosaur nuggets or that specific brand of bright orange mac and cheese felt like pulling teeth from a particularly angry badger. A very small, very loud badger. Peas became tiny green projectiles launched with surprising accuracy. Carrots were examined with deep suspicion before being dropped decisively onto the floor. Mashed potatoes often ended up decorating the wall behind his high chair in abstract patterns. I tried to convince myself were almost artistic. It was exhausting, sticky, and usually ended with me cleaning up more food than he actually consumed while he toddled off, leaving a trail of crumbs like a defiant Hansel. Standard stuff, right? I thought so too. I really did. Then things started getting weird about 6 months ago. It wasn't sudden, not like a switch flipped. More like a slow creep that I didn't notice properly until it was already settled in, like mold growing in a dark corner. It started with the quiet. Leo, my usually boisterous, chattering, demanding little boy, would just go silent when the plate was put down in front of him. Not angry silent, not pouty silent, just quiet. His eyes, usually darting around taking everything in, would fix on the food. Really fix on it, like he'd never seen food before. At first I thought maybe he was just concentrating. Maybe my prayers for a less picky eater were being answered in a strange, focused way. He started eating things he'd previously thrown. Broccoli vanished without complaint. Spinach, which usually prompted gagging noises, disappeared forkful by forkful. He ate neatly too, no more Jackson Pollock impressions on the wall, just careful, deliberate movements. His spoon would scoop, lift, enter his mouth, return to the plate. Scoop, lift, enter, return, over and over like clockwork. The only sound was the soft clink of the plastic spoon against the ceramic plate. My husband Mark thought it was great. See? He's finally growing up, he'd say, ruffling Leo's hair. He's just being a good boy. But Mark wasn't always there for lunch, and sometimes he worked late through dinner. I was the one sitting opposite that high chair most meals, and I saw it wasn't just good boy behaviour. It was empty. Leo wasn't there when he ate like that. His eyes were open, fixed on the plate, but they looked flat, like looking into dull glass beads. He didn't respond if I spoke to him. I could ask him about his day, about his toys, about the dog next door, and nothing. No flicker of recognition. Just scoop, lift, enter, return. I tried waving my hand in front of his face once. He didn't blink, didn't react at all. Just kept eating, his hand moving with that same mechanical precision. The spoon even navigated around my fingers without pause, like my hand wasn't solid, like it wasn't even there. My blood went cold. I snatched my hand back fast. He finished the food on his plate, every last scrap, and then his eyes seemed to clear. He blinked a couple of times, looked around as if waking up, and then smiled at me. A normal, bright 3-year-old smile. "All done, Mommy," he chirped, banging his spoon on the tray, instantly back to his usual self, demanding juice or wanting down. I tried telling Mark about the blankness, the non-blinking stare, the way Leo didn't seem present. Mark just shrugged. "He's probably just zoned out, honey. Kids do that. He gets really focused on stuff sometimes. You're just tired. Maybe I was tired. We both worked. Life was busy. Maybe I was reading too much into it, projecting my own stress onto a weird toddler phase. I tried to believe that. I really did. But it kept happening. Every meal. Silence. Staring. Mechanical eating. Then the switch back to normal Leo the second the plate was clean. It wasn't just vegetables anymore either. He ate everything I put in front of him this way. Chicken, fish, pasta, soup. Didn't matter. As long as it was on his plate at mealtime, he'd consume it with that same unnerving focus. He never asked for seconds. He never complained. He just ate exactly what was provided. Nothing more, nothing less. The pickiness was gone, replaced by this vacant efficiency. I started to dread sitting down to eat. The silence in the kitchen felt heavy, suffocating. The rhythmic clink of his spoon was the only sound, a tiny metronome counting down moments I couldn't understand. I tried taking a video once, wanting to show Mark exactly what I meant. The flat eyes, the weirdly precise movements. I propped my phone up subtly against the fruit bowl. Leo sat down, I put the plate down. The usual silence descended. His eyes fixed. The eating began. Scoop, lift, enter, return. I let it record for 5 minutes, my heart pounding. Later, after Leo was supposedly asleep, I wasn't so sure about anything anymore. I played the video back for Mark. On the screen, Leo looked normal, a little serious maybe, concentrating on his food, but his eyes looked fine on camera. He blinked occasionally. He even seemed to glance up towards the phone once, though I didn't remember him doing that. The mechanical precision wasn't obvious on the small screen. The emptiness wasn't captured. See? Mark said gently. He just looks like he's focusing. He's eating his dinner like a champ. I don't see anything scary here, Ames. He squeezed my shoulder. You need to relax. He was trying to be comforting, but it just made me feel crazy. Isolated. Was I imagining it all? Was I losing my mind? The contrast between what I saw sitting opposite Leo and what the video showed was jarring. It felt like the phone recording refused to see what I saw. Then came the meatloaf incident. I'd made meatloaf, mashed potatoes and green beans. Standard comfort food. I put the plate down. Leo went quiet, eyes fixed. Scoop, lift, enter, return. He ate the green beans first, meticulously. Then the mashed potatoes. Then he started on the meatloaf. He took a bite, chewed slowly, swallowed, took another bite, chewed, swallowed. Then he stopped, mid-chew. He just froze, spoon halfway to his mouth. His eyes, usually fixed on the plate, slowly lifted to meet mine. They weren't flat this time. They were sharp, focused, but it wasn't Leo's focus. It felt old and hungry. He swallowed the mouthful he'd been holding. A small, strange smile touched his lips. A smile I had never seen on my son's face before. It didn't reach his eyes. More, he said. His voice was different too. Lower, raspy. Not the high-pitched chirp I was used to. Just that one word. More. More meatloaf, sweetie? I asked, my voice trembling slightly. You haven't finished what's on your... More, he repeated, louder this time, cutting me off. The smile widened slightly. He tapped his spoon firmly on the high chair tray. Tap, tap, tap. It wasn't the impatient banging of a normal toddler. It was rhythmic, demanding. His eyes never left mine. They looked darker now somehow. I felt a wave of panic wash over me. This wasn't Leo. Not my Leo. Okay, I stammered, reaching for the serving dish on the counter behind me. My hand shook as I scooped another small piece of meatloaf onto his plate. He watched my hand, his eyes following the meatloaf. As soon as it landed on the ceramic, his gaze snapped back to mine. The strange smile remained. He didn't immediately start eating it. He just watched me. It needs red, he said, that same low, raspy voice. Red? What do you mean, sweetie? Like ketchup? I fumbled, looking around wildly. We had ketchup. I could get the ketchup. He shook his head slowly, deliberately. The smile flickered. No. Red. He tapped the meatloaf with his spoon. Tap. Tap. Then he looked back at me, his dark eyes seeming to bore right through me. Warm red. My breath hitched. Warm red. I looked at the brownish meatloaf. I looked at his pale little face, that alien smile, those ancient eyes. I thought about the video camera not seeing it. I thought about Mark telling me I was tired. I thought about the mechanical eating, the silence, the way he disappeared behind his own eyes. Scoop, lift, enter, return, feeding something else. Something that lived behind his eyes and only came out at mealtimes. Something that was getting stronger. Something that used to be satisfied with broccoli and spinach, but now wanted more. It wanted warm red. I stood there, frozen, the serving spoon still in my hand. Leo just watched me, smiling that awful smile, waiting. The silence in the kitchen pressed in, heavier than ever before. The only sound now was the frantic pounding of my own heart. He tapped the meatloaf again. Tap. Waiting for me to serve the next course.